Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, September 18, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video, and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems, that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that this update just came out at 7:32 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:32 p.m. Jamaica time, considering that it's just 6:55 p.m. right now. We can see that we still have that area of disturbed weather right here associated with the remnants of Tropical Storm Gordon. Right here, it has a 50% chance of redeveloping back into Gordon as it pushes northward, but that's just going to be a fish storm. Our main focus is on this system across the Western Caribbean that now has a 30% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. According to the Hurricane Center, a broad area of low pressure could form late this weekend or early next week over the western or northwestern Caribbean Sea. Thereafter, some slow development of this system is possible through the middle of next week, while it moves slowly to the north or northwest over the northwestern Caribbean Sea or the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. We can see that this definitely has that kind of pattern, like it's going to be pushing more northward, then enter the southeastern Gulf of Mexico right there. Either way, it's going to be lingering across portions of the Western Caribbean, and it's going to be bringing a lot of rainfall to these countries, these islands in general, from Jamaica all the way westward, Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and even portions of Central America for sure. And if we actually get down into the supercomputer models and what they're showing, we're going to be focusing our attention right here at the top, showing the timestamp. We're just going to be going out to the next one, John, 68 hours. That's the next 7 days. And we're going to be looking for all of these that we're seeing on the right. This represents the rainfall. The light greens, the darker greens, the yellows, oranges, and reds. That represents all the way up into the inches of a rainfall. We're going to be focusing our attention right here across the central to the western Caribbean. So let's go out in time and see what the Euro model is showing. This latest run as of 12Z today, 12 o'clock today. We can see the moisture starting to accumulate across portions of the western Caribbean as early as this weekend. This is valid for 3Z on Sunday, which is actually about 10 p.m. on Saturday. And we start to see the moisture associated with the disturbance already across portions of the Western Caribbean, stretching from Jamaica into portions of Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, and Honduras. And as we continue to go in time, we continue to see the moisture building, the dark greens, even some yellows in there. And we definitely see it doing a number on Central America in general. And as we continue to go out, we actually can make out some contour lines as well as an airflow pressure right there off the coast of Belize. So something could form. And then we see that by the time we get to the 168 hours, we still have the moisture across the Western Caribbean, but the area of low pressure seems to be pushing maybe across the Yucatan Peninsula, reaching to the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. But what does the GFS model show for the same time period? Let's go out in time. So we see that as early as 18th on Saturday, we start to see a lot of moisture increasing to the southwest of Jamaica right here. All of the greens, the yellows, the oranges, and reds. As we continue to go out in time, by Sunday, even more moisture across Jamaica. And look at that, even to the south of Jamaica, by 6Z on Monday. This is 1 a.m. on Monday. And look at all of the moisture, the dark greens, the yellows, oranges, reds. That's some tremendous rainfall to the south of the island, if not coming onshore. And we see the broad area of low pressure right there associated with this system by Tuesday. Definitely trying to get its act together. By the way, keep in mind that this is as of the latest run of the GFS that just came out 1 hour ago, the 18Z run of the GFS. And as we continue to go out in time, as we wrap up the 168 hours. We definitely see that this system has strengthened maybe to a strong tropical storm right there as it heads towards the Yucatan Peninsula right there, close to the western tip of Cuba. Either way, we can see the tremendous amount of moisture that's expected. We see Cuba right here, we see Jamaica right here, the Cayman Islands, the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize. All of these areas are going to be affected by a lot of rainfall. And if we actually take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast maps, showing all the rainfall from now up until Wednesday, September 25, I might add. Look at all of this. And we see that the GFS has been more robust with the rainfall totals. But look at all of this rainfall that's expected. Jamaica is definitely going to be getting drenched, if not getting some amount of flash flooding taking place, especially the Cayman Islands, the Yucatan Peninsula, Western Cuba, and Central America, where we see all of these rainfall totals. Look at the key on the right. All of these are representing the purples, the pinks, and the salmon colors represent anywhere from 3 to 4, all the way up to 6 or maybe even 7 inches of rainfall over the next 7 days. GFS is even more robust, getting up into the kind of bluish kind of color right here, all the way up into the 10, 12, maybe 15 inches of rainfall. Yesterday we had more of that rainfall to the north of the Cayman Islands. Now we're seeing most of it to the west of Jamaica. Either way, we definitely see that both the U and the GFS models are showing an increase in the amount of rainfall within the next 7 days. The darker reds, maybe the burgundy colors, all the way up to the purple colors. So there's definitely going to be some amount of rainfall from this system regardless of if it directly affects Jamaica or not. We're going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall for sure. And 'tis this season, we're wrapping up September and heading into October. October is the wettest month of the year for a majority of these countries here. So it is definitely expected. It is nothing out of the ordinary for sure. If we take a look here at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we still have numerous frontal systems, one right here of the southeastern coast of the United States, another one right here across the northern portions of the North Atlantic, a ridge of high pressure right here to the north of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico, tropical wave right here to the west of Jamaica, a trough of low pressure attached to what's left of Gordon right here across the waters of the eastern Caribbean all the way up into the northern portion of the main development region, and the other tropical wave right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Island. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities for sure. The frontal system right there with an area of low pressure attached to it spinning away right here, as we can see. We can see the other frontal system right here of the southeastern United States coast. We can also see the clouds associated with the tropical wave. Most of these clouds right there closer to South America, heading into Nicaragua, affecting portions of Honduras, El Salvador as well. We can also see, if we look closely, the area of low pressure associated with Gordon right there attached to the trough that's pushing into portions of the Windward Island. So they're definitely getting in on some isolated shores even as we speak. We'll be talking about the rest of the Caribbean a little later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday, September 18, 2024. It was stated that there would have been some afternoon rainfall across parts of western Jamaica today. And we know western Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At around 3:45 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted here on our Twitter page. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the visible satellite image that was posted at around 3:45 p.m. highlighting the clouds. Bring some isolated showers, if not overcast skies or isolated thunderstorms. We saw the sparkling yellow, that's for sure. It was more confined to the cockpit country than anything else. Northern St. Elizabeth, southern St. James, southwestern Trelawney, eastern Hanover, northeastern Westmoreland. So we definitely had the isolated shower activity across western Jamaica for sure. Some parishes across western Jamaica, more so the cockpit country than anything else. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see what took place. The clouds definitely built up across western Jamaica for sure. Those very areas that were mentioned: northwest St. Elizabeth, eastern Hanover, eastern or northeastern Westmoreland, southern St. James for sure. And even as the sun was going down, we're still getting in on some amount of cloud cover across some western areas. And we can even see on the infrared satellite images before the sun went down the high cold cloud top. Just a brief thunderstorm right there, as represented by the blues, and the greens represent the cumulonimbus clouds. We can also see some clouds passing to the south of Jamaica, pushing from east to west right there. Even some sparkling white that represent some lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, passing to the south now of St. Catherine and Clarendon as we speak. And as expected, the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel this afternoon at about 2:19 p.m. showed that we didn't have much taking place. Looking towards the south or to the southwest, towards Kingston in general, we can see I believe this is the Grace Kennedy building, and I believe I just saw the digital building right here. Not seeing much at all. Definitely a quiet day in general. Not much in the way of bad weather at all. We can see the Ministry of Education building right here, if I'm not mistaken. So we definitely had quite a fair day, a sunny day in general. Even in yesterday's video, it was predicted that today would have been the sunniest day that we've been experiencing for the past month for sure. Let's see how tomorrow goes. Either way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They also show Crossroads, Halfway Tree, the Flat Bridge, the Kingston Harbor, you name it, because they're planning on increasing the cameras in and around the island in general. So subscribe from now so that you don't miss out on what's happening. Maybe a camera might be coming to your parish soon. If we take a look here at the very latest infrared satellite image of Jamaica, let's reload these images so that we have the very latest still image. So we can see right here the very latest just came out at 55 minutes past the last hour. So this just came out at 6:55 p.m. considering that it's 7:07 p.m. now. All we're seeing is just a few high level clouds indicated by the white, especially across western Jamaica. Maybe they still are getting in on some isolated shores as we speak. And we can also see that rainfall right there across the waters to the south of St. Catherine, the cloud cover for sure, not necessarily rainfall, but the cloud cover. Let's see if all of this matches up with what we're seeing on the Cuban Doppler radar images. So we can see, as a matter of fact, let's reload these images so that we have the very latest. Alright, so the very latest image just came out at 7:50 p.m. Jamaica, Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6:50 p.m. Jamaica time. So this one just came out, 10-17 minutes ago, if I'm not mistaken. And we can definitely see that rainfall that western Jamaica is still getting in on. Some isolated shores right there off the coast of St. James, Hanover for sure, indicating that there's something within all of these milky whitish colors. And we can also see that rainfall passing to the south of St. Catherine as well, as indicated by these greens pushing from east to west. But we can see that it's definitely dwindling as we speak. So that indeed confirms what we're seeing here on the satellite image right there to the south of the island. If we also take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban military radar, nothing significant taking place. The pattern has definitely shifted. The usual afternoon rainfall with the upper level winds from the northeast definitely gone. Pattern is over. Southeastern Cuba not getting in on much. Western Haiti not getting in on much. But that could change with the system that's expected to do a number on the Western Caribbean very soon. The Cayman radar not showing much. Just some rainfall across central Cuba right there. And some of that rainfall to the south of the Cayman Islands as well. If we take a look at the very latest from the Flatbridge Cam, not much taking place. Last week, this time, we would have had water rushing to signal that we definitely had some rainfall up in the hills of St. Catherine, but nothing much taking place at all these days. So the water is definitely still at this time 7:09 p.m. Definitely gonna be fair weather for sure throughout the night tonight. If we take a look here at the temperatures right now, we can say about 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look here at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors. And we can see from the key on the right, the orange colors are representative of anywhere from 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of September across Jamaica are close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. 90 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated is about the same as 32.2 degrees Celsius. So given the 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in temperature rise tomorrow, we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34, maybe even all the way up to 35 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Thursday. So please ensure that you try to beat the heat, stay indoors, make use of the fans and the AC. Please check in on the elderly, those persons who you live with or those even that you don't live with. And try to stay hydrated as much as possible by eating more fruits, apples, grapes, watermelon, and drinking more water than anything else. Even if you're not thirsty, drink the water, stay hydrated. If we take a look here at the Saharan, thus forecast for 2 p.m. on Thursday, we're indeed grateful that majority of the basin is in the clear. All the dust associated with the Sahara Desert in the brown right here are closer across the eastern portion of the main development region right here across Africa. And it's not even that vigorous of a plume. We see lighter shades of browns. So we know that won't do much at all. It's only affecting the areas across Africa and the Cabo Verde Islands there. So maybe some slight hazy skies. But we're indeed grateful that our neck of the woods isn't getting in on any of that to trigger, asthma, sinusitis in some persons or cause hazy skies at all. If we take a look here at the wave forecast for tomorrow, it's the same pattern. The Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico getting in on those lighter shades of blues that we can see by the key on the bottom right that represents anywhere from 0 to 0.5 for meter wave height. The Central to the Eastern Caribbean getting in on those darker shades of blues, the 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all across the Northwestern Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico, more blues than anything else, averaging anywhere from 0 to 5 knot winds. But we can see across the Caribbean the winds should be coming in from the east. For the most part, we see some brighter greens as well, representing anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe even gusting to 20 knot winds. And if we take a look here at what's expected regarding the winds across Jamaica, for sure, we can definitely see we're going to be having an easterly flow across the island for sure. Maybe if we get some afternoon rainfall, it could be piling up, if not across inland areas of some central parishes, maybe across some western parishes as well. And we know the drill. We have the low level flow causing the cumulus clouds to become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper level cumulonimbus clouds. And we don't have much strong upper level wind shear at all to blow those high cold clouds up off to one direction, bring more overcast skies to one side of the island, if not some light rain. So it's just that in general. So if we actually go out in time, as a matter of fact, if you don't know this site by now, this is Meteorologics. This is one of the best sites that you can ever use regarding a rainfall. And I'm going to be showing you how to use it. We just go out in time. So we see the timestamp right here. We're just going to be looking at what's happening in and around that time frame. This is Thursday at 9 a.m. Let's see if the GFS model is also in agreement with this forecast, because we saw some blues that represent rainfall on the Euro model for that time period, but we don't see it on the GFS. This is what we look for. We look for consensus, and if we don't normally see the consensus, the chances of the rain actually taking place are slim in a sense. Let's see if we go out in time, if we'll see more rainfall somewhere across the island at those time periods. Alright, look at that. This is 3 p.m. Let's skip ahead and go one step ahead to 4 p.m. Because by that time, we're sure 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. Look at what we're seeing right there on the GFS. Let us see what the euro is showing for that time period. Alright, so there we go. We start to make sense with the forecast. We start to see consensus. So we see the blues represent rainfall. The euro has more of it across central Jamaica, maybe sections of northern St. Andrew, northern St. Catherine, St. Anne, section of Trelawny, northern St. Elizabeth, eastern Westmoreland and Hanover, southern St. James. Not seeing much of that across western Jamaica on the euro, but we do see it across central Jamaica for sure. We can also see a huge blob of rainfall right there to the southeast of the island for 3 p.m. on Thursday. Not seeing it on the GFS at all. We'll see how that goes. Either way, we're seeing the consensus for that afternoon rainfall, especially across central Jamaica. So we'll see how that goes. If you're going out tomorrow, if you live in central Jamaica, ensure that you have your rain gear for sure, especially if you're all the way up into the hills of St. Andrew, the inland areas, or yeah, the inland areas of St. Catherine, the southern areas of St. Anne. Look out for that afternoon rainfall for sure. And if we take a look here at the accumulated precipitation forecast from both the Euro and the GFS models, there should be rainfall somewhere across Jamaica tomorrow. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Friday. When calculated, that's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Thursday. And we do see all the rainfalls represented by the greens and the yellows. That represents anywhere from 0.2 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to what? 0.3 or 0.4 of an inch of rainfall. And we'll definitely take it, even although it's a bit different on both maps. GFS has most of it across central, if not northern Jamaica. Euro has most of it across central and western Jamaica. We'll see how that goes. Either way, we're indeed grateful we're gonna be getting in on some amount of rainfall within the next 24 hours. We can see Kingston's bar graph right here at the top, showing the amount of rainfall that we usually receive during the month of September, close to 100 millimeters, which is about the same as 4 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 7 inches of rainfall, which is almost 175 millimeters of rainfall. So clearly, Montego Bay usually receives more rainfall than Kingston, especially throughout the year in general. Keep in mind that you can find out what your specific parish received throughout the year if you visit weatherandclimate.com. And you can use this nice little graphic right here showing how the rainfall is calculated via the rain gauge. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a tongue of moisture stretching into portions of the Windward Islands associated with the trough that was induced by Gordon. We can also see right here some moisture passing to the south of Jamaica. We can see clouds associated with the frontal system still lashing portions of Florida, Cuba, the Bahamas as we speak. We can see portions of Central America getting in on the usual afternoon thunderstorms, not to mention portions of Northern South America as well. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's look and see what's happening right now. Just some dots of greens represent some light to moderate isolated showers right there across southern Jamaica. Well, not southern Jamaica, southern Puerto Rico, sorry. You can also see some isolated showers to the east of Guadeloupe right there. And if we put these images into motion, we see what took place today. The usual afternoon rainfall across portions of inland areas of central and the western Puerto Rico for sure. And then by this hour, most of it has cleared out. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can definitely make out the rainfall associated with the trough, not going into any specific direction. Definitely stationary as we speak. The trough is stuck, not going anywhere. Definitely going to be raining itself out tonight across Barbados with some isolated shores. You can also see some of that rainfall into portions of Dominica, sections of St. Vincent, St. Lucia, the Grenadine Islands, definitely getting lashed as we speak. Not seeing much across portions of Trinidad, but we do see some isolated shores across Tobago as well. If we take a look at what we have Doppler radar images, we can see some of that rainfall across sections of Florida, Cuba, the Yucatan Peninsula, northern Guatemala, Belize, sections of Nicaragua. Yes, for sure, we see that rainfall to the east of Nicaragua, and you can also see some rainfall across sections of Honduras, northeastern South, Venezuela, and even portion of northwestern Guyana getting in on some of that rainfall. And if we take a look right here at the accumulated precipitation for the next 24 hours, This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Thursday on Friday, which is actually from now up until 10 p.m. on Thursday. And we can definitely make out the rainfall for sure. Portions of Florida, sections of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos might get in on some isolated showers. Sections of Cuba might get in on some rain. Not to mention sections of Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico right here. Sections of Martinique, sections of St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Barbados, still to be getting on some rainfall. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast when we take a look at them both. We can also see some rainfall for portions of Northern and South America. Areas like sections of Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula as well. Even portion of the Cayman Islands might get on some rainfall, even although the Euro is a bit more robust with that rainfall for the Caymans. Not much on the GFS, we'll see how that goes. Either way, for the most part, they're definitely in consensus, they're in agreement. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.